right, so as the introduction said, my name is Amelie. I am a product designer at Thoughtbot. I was previously at a very small organization known as the New York Times. The President of the United States has said that the New York Times likes to put out a lot of fake news, which is debatable, but that's where I worked. I didn't see any fake news while I was there, but I figured might as well give you all the facts given the environment that we're living in. So, this talk, diversity versus inclusion. I feel like oftentimes when it comes to the tech industry, we talk about diversity versus inclusion, and it's like, oh my God, a black woman on stage talking about diversity and inclusion. Really, I gotta sit through this? You do, because I'm on stage and you're sitting there and you pay for this. But beyond that, I feel like I'm not here to give you dogma. I'm not here to change your mind or to have you change policy. What I'm here to give you is some ideas and different ways to think about diversity and inclusion because, quite frankly, I personally hate diversity. We'll go into that. I know you're looking at me like, what is she talking about? Don't worry about it. Just chill, sit in your seat, calm down. Okay, so I'm a little anxious because I feel like I got like the raw end of the deal, right? Like, what time is it? It's 12:12, and y'all got lunch in like 40 minutes or so, right? And y'all like, all right, I already said you don't really want to listen to a talk about diversity and inclusion, plus you're hungry. So I thought about how I could get you to listen. And my talks tend to be very interactive. So I'm about to blow up all of y'all worlds, and y'all gonna stand up, and we're gonna get you energized. I'm not playing, stand up. Stand up. That's what we're doing. All right, great. Gonna stretch it out. All right, so the first thing that I want you to do is, if the clicker would, come on. Hey, it's not working. All right, all right. Turn to someone you don't know, please, for the love of all that is holy. Make new friends, that is why you are here. Turn to someone and ask them how their day is going. Please. Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, this is the one that's supposed to be working, but.
That's not working. So I'll disconnect that. Just give you mine.
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm going to give him my clicker. I just need a USB. Is that one?
Okay. Yes. Thank you. All right. Okay. You're good. You're good. I didn't tell you to sit down, though. I didn't tell you to sit down. All right. We good. Pause. Time out. We done. Stop talking. You get to talk in a moment. Calm down. We going. We doing this. All right. Cool. Next. Turn to someone, not someone you just turned to, and not someone you know, and ask them what their plans are for lunch. And maybe if you're feeling extra bold, invite yourself to lunch and get to know them better. All right, go ahead. Talk amongst yourselves. Cut you off. You will have time during lunch to connect more. Time out. We done. We good. No more. I didn't tell you to sit. What is wrong with y'all? Dang. Okay. Next, last one. I want you to turn to someone, not to the person you just turned to, and not to the person you spoke to the first time, and not someone that you know, and compliment them. It could be something that they're wearing, something that they're holding, the way they style their hair. Just take a look at that person and just give them a big old compliment. Do that right now. That was like 30 seconds. I know it don't take 30 seconds to give somebody compliments, so you can stop. You good. I swear to God, if somebody sits, I'm gonna be upset. I didn't tell y'all to sit yet. We not done. We're still going. Okay. So, there's a method to this madness. I promise we will get to it. And it does have to do with the talk. I promise. Just woosah. Okay. So let's transport ourselves to another world. And because we are all technically, in tech, in technology, all of that stuff, we are now, well, you are now startup founders. Yes, you are startup founders. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the group, this entire room, I want to say into, let's do 6 groups. So we'll do half, figure it out, half, figure it out, half, figure it out. There's a lot of y'all, just group up somehow, just figure it out. 6 groups, and when you've created those 6 groups, I want you to pick a leader, someone who is going to represent you. Now, there's this game that I really like called Pitch Deck. I don't know if you've heard of it. And essentially, it's like technology nerds' version of Cards Against Humanity. So I am going to be, I am going to be an investor, and you guys are going to take some time, maybe about 5 minutes, to figure out how you're going to pitch to me based on the card that I show you and based on the cards that I give to you. And then you're going to line up and you're going to pitch to me. Okay. Here is the investor card that we've got going. It's whatever your company is and relate it to this card somehow. So for example, if the card were, you know how sometimes you meet someone who's not in tech and they're like, and you're like, oh, what's that app you're building? And they're like, oh, it's like Uber but for your toenails. And you're like, what does that mean? You'll figure it out once I make millions. That's kind of what this exercise is. So Burning Man for X. Make your groups, and I'm gonna go ahead and pass out the cards for each group. Who is the leader for each group? I need leaders. What's up? Who's the leader for this group?
Right here, Brian.
Brian? Are you Brian?
No.
Yeah, you're the leader. All right, pick a card.
Right.
One card. There we go. Yeah, all right, pick a card. All right, last group. Last but not least, who is the leader here?
Over here.
All right. Wait, you? Okay. Pick a card. Perfect. So you're going to take 5 minutes to think about how you're going to pitch. When the timer goes off, actually, let's not give you 5 minutes. Let's give you 3 minutes. This is pressure, under pressure. 3 minutes when the alarm goes off is when you have to pitch and line up here. It's time. I see some of y'all still in groups. We done. Let's go. All right. Yes, so group leaders are going to line up over here. I think we're missing 4 more? Okay. Is this, who wants to go first? You're a dude. Wow, okay.
You're co-leading. We're partners.
Oh, okay, all right. So you're like co-founders. Oh, okay, word. All right, cool. My name, what's my name? We gotta pick a good investor name that like scares you, but like not too much. GG Iron.
Ms. Iron.
Yes. Welcome to my office.
Hi, Ms. Iron.
What is your name?
My name is Liz. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Liz.
Vernon.
And who is this person?
Nicolette.
Nicolette. Nice to meet you.
Nicolette.
Okay. Yeah. So we're pitching today. I'm ready to hear it.
All right, great. Well,
Yes.
we're here to tell you today about Go-to-Palooza. And it's an event for if you'd like to live proudly as a goat, but like, it's like Burning Man, but for people that want to live proudly as a goat.
You are going to live your best goat life.
Wow.
So here's what we have for you. We have Billy Yoga in the goat tents. Billy Yoga. And you will take your goat cart to go between the goat tents.
Yes.
And because it's Burning Man for goats, it's Go-to-Palooza, we have some goat nail art, and we've got some goat horn art and some goat designs that you're going to shave into your fur.
Ooh. Bless.
Now, we can't do Go-to-Palooza without some self-care,
Okay.
right?
Tell me I'm
So
ready.
we got a goat spa day, we got retreats, we have an artisanal goat milk shake that you can drink, which is organic.
Is it made out of goat milk?
Oh, it's made out of goat milk, and it's gluten-free,
Amazing.
and it's cruelty-free,
Beautiful.
and it's, what else is it? Artisanal.
Sourced locally from goat farms in New York State.
Yes.
Yes. And that's what we have for Go-to-Palooza.
Beautiful. Thank you. Hey. Hello, my name is Gigi Iron.
It's great to meet you, Gigi, and it's great to be here. I'm Tali.
Nice to meet you, Tali.
great to meet you.
Yes, I'm ready.
Well, you may have had some thoughts since past November about moving to Canada. I think a lot of us have if we don't live there already. But I'm here to tell you that the time has come. Let's do it. Because Canada is the Burning Man of North America. You feel me? Let me tell you about Burning Man, and let me tell you about Canada.
Okay, I'm ready.
You pay for Burning Man, and
Yes.
with that ticket, you get access to some of the most comprehensive healthcare you'll ever have. Elite doctors apply to be at Burning Man for the week and serve you if you need it. Same with Canada. You go to Canada, pay taxes, and get great healthcare. Who thought that was a thing? The Canadians.
Who would have known?
Moving on. You know what else you can get at Burning Man?
What else?
Drugs. You know what you can get in Canada? Drugs. Because you paid for healthcare. Are you sold?
I'm sold.
There's
I
more.
love drugs.
I got one more piece for you. There's so many opportunities to experience art and interesting conversation and meet some of the most intelligent people you ever will at Burning Man. You know what you have in Canada? Not only Justin Trudeau, but 3 of the best speakers from this conference. We got Wes Voss, Cynthia, and Henri. So I mean, if they don't sell you, I don't know what will, but it's time to get to the Burning Man of North America, and that's Canada.
Beautiful. Okay. I am Gigi Iron.
Hi, Gigi. How's it going?
Pretty good. What's your name?
My name is Francis.
Francis. Nice to meet you, Francis. I'm ready.
Okay, well, I was waiting outside and I heard that, and it was a good pitch. I'm going to give it. It was a very good pitch, but I got something better for you. I'm about to blow yours and everyone else's mind.
I'm ready.
You're coming into Burning Man, right?
All right.
Get that picture in your head.
Sam.
You're walking in, and Burning Man, with your ticket, has already paid for magic beans. For every single person. You walk in, you get a magic bean. I know what's going through your head. Why do I need a magic bean? What's a magic bean gonna do for me? Allow me to demonstrate, people. This is the best thing that's gonna happen to you, all right? Because you don't know what these beans do. And when I say you, I mean we. We don't know. We have no idea. But that's the fun part. You get to not have a clue what's gonna happen. You're gonna take this bean, you're gonna drop it in the ground, and it may or may not produce a cactus. You're in the desert. You need water. You need water, and it's a cactus. Or you're gonna drop it in the ground, boom, beanstalk shade. It's part of it. You're gonna wanna be cool. You're gonna wanna, stay chill. Or, and this is the big one here, you drop it in the ground. Marijuana. I don't think I have to say anything else. Magic beans. Everybody.
Amazing. I'm sold. Amazing. Hello. What is your name?
I'm Elena.
Elena.
And I'd like to invite you to Morning Breath, which is the Burning Man of Morning Breath. And that might seem kind of gross, and it might seem like it smells, but we want to take a new spin on morning breath. When you wake up in the morning and you have your first breath, it's an invitation to that day. It's an invitation to a day that you're gonna share with many other people. And it may be a little stinky, it may be unrefined, but it's real. And that's what we want morning breath to be. So,
Is it organic?
it's organic. So morning breath.
Is it local?
It is local. That's what I was getting to. It's local. It'll be in New York in a park.
Okay.
Anyone can come.
Is it vegan?
It might be vegan, it might not be. It depends on your morning breakfast preference.
Okay.
There will be yoga in the morning. You'll be breathing together in the morning. There, like TED Talks, people plan what they're gonna say for many days, weeks. They prepare. We'll have the opposite of TED Talks, where people could come up and say what was on their mind in the morning, what's
just
on their
breathe on
mind
it.
right now. They might just breathe into the microphone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
It's basically like if Kanye West got up here right now.
With morning breath.
What would you say? Right, with morning breath.
Amazing.
So
I love it.
yeah,
I'm
so that's
sold.
morning breath.
Beautiful. Hello. What is your name?
My name is Frank.
Frank. Nice to meet you, Frank.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. You ever put anything up your nose?
Sometimes, it depends on how I'm
we've all
feeling.
put stuff up
Yeah,
our
yeah,
nose.
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So you ever been to a festival? Sometimes people put some stuff up their nose.
What kind of? Okay.
Well, it all depends on what festival you're at,
Okay.
what you're trying to do, what the outcome you're trying to get, how much fun you're trying to have. I don't do drugs, so I don't know much about that. So there's this thing, sinus blaster. So have you ever heard of a neti pot? It's like this weird
Yes.
thing. You fill it up with water, you dump it through your nose, it spills out. It's supposed to clear out. So, has anyone ever used a neti pot? Awesome. You ever hear those horror
Amazing.
stories about brain-eating amoebas? Yeah. So this festival, no brain-eating amoebas. Now at festivals, there's a lot of water, obviously, because apparently people like to drink a lot of water when they're putting stuff up their nose. I don't know what that means.
That makes sense.
Okay. So,
I believe in you.
I don't want to say the wrong things here.
This
But-
is an open and safe space.
So it's like this thing where you put herbs in water, you put it through your nose, and all of a sudden, you start seeing things. You start talking, and you're seeing objects come out of your mouth. 3D dimensional objects. Apparently, other people can see them too if you use this. I think I've lost you. Okay. So it's like this thing where you derive an extract from a plant. I don't know what the plant is, but then you start going on a 15-minute journey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's like that.
So we're trying to raise money for this.
Oh, yeah.
And we really think that if we can do this at the tip of Maine.
Can children do this?
I'm sure they can, but I don't know if it's
I'm sold.
recommended. But here's the kicker.
Yes.
So when you're going on whatever this journey is, if you have an Apple Watch or if you have any other Bluetooth devices, this connects right to it. It can actually track your experiences, and actually you can download all of your experiences into it, and you can just put it up to the cloud. You can blast it on social media.
Amazing. That itself is worth $50 billion.
Well, funny you should say that. We need $50 billion. Sinus Blaster, Northern Maine, February 15th of every year.
Perfect. Thank you. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Maggie.
Maggie. Nice to meet you. Wow, Maggie's company is very loud and excitable. It's nice.
We're very enthusiastic about our product.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, so I want to ask you, what do you think of when you think of the word immortality?
Myself.
Which is exactly the response that we were hoping to get. Now, I want you to think of yourself being immortal, but at
But I am
Burning Man.
immortal.
Oh, but at yourself, immortal at Burning Man.
Oh, okay. I'm imagining it.
Yes, it's beautiful. So what I want you to also think of is at Burning Man, garbage.
Girl,
Lots of
what?
Garbage. Yes, it's everywhere, and it's used in a lot of the byproducts that you use. If you get a can of Coke, what do you do with that can? You throw it away. You recycle it. You use it, and then you just discard it altogether. Does that seem like an immortal thing to you?
I'm at a loss for words.
Yes, and that's what we were hoping for.
Oh, okay. Please continue.
Indeed. So our product that we're hoping to sell to you today is regards around immortality, not necessarily being immortal, but around sustainability and being immortal through sustainability. So when you think about all of the things that you use at Burning Man, your tent, the packaging that comes with it, the food that you drink, the waste that you produce while you're at Burning Man, we want to take that and we want to turn it into bracelets. Now, what is that going to do for you? That is going to make your experience at Burning Man a completely immortal experience via your bracelet.
You know, I like it because it's very practical.
It is, yes.
Yes.
You could even take the bracelet at the end of your life and then bury it and then make it.
Well, I'm never going to have an end of my life, so. Also, my only question is it organic?
It is organic, free range, and completely.
Is it natural?
It is 100% natural.
Beautiful.
Vegan.
Great, perfect. Thank you. Okay. I've had a lot of people come through my office today, and it's been amazing, and you're the last person, so I'm ready. What is your name?
I'm Adam. Nice
Adam,
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This is probably going to be the most messed up one out of all of them.
Oh. Okay.
So I represent my colleagues over here. We're looking for an investor.
Yes.
To help support Gentry, which is like the Burning Man of gentrification. It's great. No, just think about it. We go into these underprivileged neighborhoods that have been poorly represented in our communities. They have all these terrible drugs, homelessness, in your backyard, like literally the next neighborhood over. It's terrible. So what we do is we go into these neighborhoods and we replace their drugs with drugs that like don't get white people in trouble. Ooh, right, yeah. So we take those benches, you know, you're at a park, it's a dirty park, we're gonna clean it up. We're gonna take those benches where the homeless people sleep, and we're gonna replace them with the ones with the stupid thing in the middle where they can't sleep. Right? Just think about it. You know, all the beautiful murals that bring these, you know, poor communities together, we're going to paint over them with something that makes absolutely no sense.
Yes, yes.
I mean, just think about it.
See it.
I just need.
It's like I'm in Park Slope right now.
Anybody? Anybody? Is this not the most messed up thing you've ever heard of?
Is there yoga?
Damn straight, there's yoga.
Oh my God.
And juice bars.
Yes.
And like 15 coffee shops next to our Starbucks.
Yes.
You want Dunkin' Donuts? No. Yes. It's not good enough.
Yes. Are there artisanal donuts though?
What's that?
Artisanal donuts?
Oh, damn straight with bacon on it.
Yes.
Vegan bacon.
Yes. Yes. I love it.
I just need 50 bill.
You got it.
Sweet.
That was so much.
Thank you. All right, so like I said, there is a method to all of this. It might have seemed very strange and very weird, but I really appreciate you all coming up here and pitching. The only question I have is for those of you who didn't pitch or those of you who were in groups, was there at any point while you were in the group a moment that you felt maybe like your voice wasn't heard or that you were left out, or even if you weren't a part of a group, like you felt like you didn't want to join in? Is there anyone who felt like that? Don't be shy, you can raise your hand. Okay. Okay, good. So the rest of this is going to go fairly quickly because I mentioned earlier that I hate diversity. And there's a reason for that. The reason I hate diversity is because I feel like the word is often overused. We use it as a crutch. And oftentimes when we use the word diversity, what we actually mean is inclusion. Diversity is about visibility. Inclusion, on the other hand, is about empowerment and permission. That's part of the reason why I had you break out into groups. That's why I had you choose a leader. That's why I had you come up here and pitch. Because if diversity is about visibility and inclusion is about empowerment, I want you to feel empowered that you can take an action. And we'll get back to that in a moment. Then there's equity. Oftentimes than not, especially in the tech industry, when we talk about diversity and inclusion, we like to think about equity as well. And I was trying to think of a definition of equity that was like in layman's terms that everyone could understand instead of just looking in the dictionary. And I was like, you know what, let me actually look it up in the dictionary. And when I looked it up in the dictionary, it said free from judgment and free from bias. We are human beings. We all have bias. We all have judgments. You all have judgments about me standing up here. You had judgments about the exercise that I had you do. You had judgments about the people that you had to talk to when I told you to stand up and turn to each other. We are not free from bias and judgment. It's just not possible. And then when you also tie in equity, it's also connected to privilege as well. Oftentimes than not, when we think about diversity, inclusion, we do think about equity and we also think about privilege. And I think a lot of people get annoyed because they hear the word privilege. I feel like, especially like in 2018 and in the past few years, there's a bit of a trope where someone will like call someone out and be like, check your privilege. And someone's like, really? God. Which is kind of like a really annoying and rude way to call someone out. Instead, what I'm offering here with privilege, it's not necessarily about an individual, it's about a group. So when we think about privilege, oftentimes than not, we're like, oh, like, say for example, if, obviously I'm a black woman, but if I were a white person, I would say, well, you know, I don't have privilege because I grew up poor, et cetera, like, this was my life, and yes, that's correct, you are valid, your life is valid, your experiences are valid, but we're not talking about the individual, we're talking about a group as a whole. So even for me, as a black woman, when I walk out industry as someone who makes good money at her job, who has had a very successful career for a very long time, who's been living on her own, who pays her own bills, like all this stuff that I can use as a way to boost and bolster myself. These are things that cannot be seen. They are things that are intangible. But my skin color and what my gender expression is visible and is, in some sense, tangible. And that is what people use to discriminate against. And that's what we're talking about when we say privilege. It's not about the individual. It's about the group and how we operate within systems. So let's just think about statistics for a short moment. The US population consists of over 300 million people, at least from the census in 2016. 15% are 65 years or older. 50% are female. 8.6, 65 under with a disability, under 65 with a disability. 13.3 African American, 1.3 Indigenous, 5.7 Asian, 0.2 Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander, 2.6 two or more races, 17.8 Hispanic or Latinx. But I'm not here to preach to you. I feel like you all know the statistics. It's on the census. I literally just went to the census website. You can find it yourself. It's fine. I brought up those statistics because we know that in the tech industry, companies release their diversity reports, and we get so angry. We're like, oh my God, like, why aren't they hiring more X marginalized group? And on some level, I agree with that. And on another level, I don't quite agree with that. Because if diversity is about visibility, then companies can use hiring people from marginalized groups as a way to bolster their numbers without actually thinking about the well-being of those individuals within the company. That's why I said, in general, I don't really like the word diversity. I prefer the word inclusion, because when you focus on inclusion, diversity is inherent. So thinking about inclusion, I just want to talk about one small project that I've done to kind of give people who are from marginalized backgrounds that feeling of permission and power. And we're going to talk about that permission and power after I'm done talking about this project. So Good for POC is a project that I created. It means good for people of color. Myself and my two other co-founders created this company because we noticed that based on our experiences in the tech industry, we were discriminated against because of our skin color. My story, I'm not even going to recount it here. You can Google me, you'll find it. It's very well known. But one story that I want to bring up is my co-founder, Jackie. And I feel like it very well speaks to this idea of inclusion or lack thereof. So Jackie and his friend, he uses an Android phone, and he and his friend took a selfie together. And Jackie's black, and his friend is black. And Google has an AI that can basically look at photos and determines what is inside the photos and automatically label it. Actually, Apple has that as well. So Google looked at the photos once he uploaded it, and it was like, oh, this is a nice photo, Jackie. 2 gorillas. And Jackie was like, that's me and my friend. We're not gorillas. Okay. And I bring that up because to me, that says, I don't want to say that there are no black people at Google. That doesn't make any sense. I'm sure there are. What that says to me is that there are people in the company who did not think it was wise or did not even think of reaching out to other people who may not have looked like them to include them in the conversation to see how well this AI is working. That is a lack of inclusion. So yes, Google's not the most diverse company. Google has employees of all stripes and backgrounds and colors. But when there's a failure in a product like that, that tells me that there's a lack of inclusion. So diversity is not enough. So I don't want to, like I said, give you dogma or like chastise or necessarily give you solutions. This is a 40-minute talk. We're talking about systemic oppression and all. That's a whole sociology class. We ain't got time for that. But what I do want to leave you with is this idea of how you can go out of your way to make sure that people feel included. And so when I asked people earlier if there were any individuals who didn't feel welcome or included, 2 people raised their hands. That's 2 people too many. There isn't necessarily a right or wrong answer. There isn't a way that we're going to eradicate people feeling uncomfortable in situations, but what we can do is we can ask, Are you okay with this? Is this something that you want to do? Do you want to participate in this? How can I make you feel welcome? So for example, as a woman of color, if I were at a company and I was sitting at a meeting and someone kept interrupting me, do I feel empowered? Do I feel like I have permission to tell that person to stop interrupting me without fear of getting fired? That's kind of the question that you have to ask yourself. And if you're someone who is of a privileged background, you can also think of ways in which to make that person feel welcome as well. Like, how can I support you? Is there anything that you need? And try to find a way to build bonds with those individuals so that they can trust you and you can focus on more inclusion. I don't think that there's necessarily, I don't think that it's going to be this type of thing where we're just never going to make mistakes. That's the one thing that I want to put out there. I think we're all going to fail. We're all biased. We're all humans. Quite frankly, humans are kind of shit. We're kind of terrible to each other. We really are. But knowing that we are kind of terrible to each other, it's kind of nice because it makes this level baseline. And it means that we all have the same starting place. So if there's something that you do that hurts me, or is there something that I do that hurts you, all of us, regardless of what we look like, should feel empowered to speak up and have permission to say, you know what, I didn't like the way that turned out. And the person who did the action can also say, you know what, I'm sorry I hurt you. Let's figure out another solution for this. It's literally that simple. It's not simple in action, but it's just something to think about. And that's it.